Behind us is the Peugeot 508 GT.
I must draw a reference to this mud. I was rather clean until I got mauled by a mudhound. However, on with the show. Yeah, it's a very beautiful car, isn't it, Michael? And it does call, well, I think it's inspiration from the Onyx with this line and the...
It's just a very impressive looking car, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's not quite as radical as the Onyx, but it really is a very, very good looking car.
This is the range-topping GT. It's just under £40,000, but for that you get an 8-speed auto and a 225 PS petrol engine.
Now, it will do practically everything. It will drive itself, it will park itself, and it will massage you as it does it.
The range does start from just over £25,000.
You can get a diesel, you can get a petrol, you can get one manual, and you can get, well, it's an absolutely outstanding automatic.
I'm going to take a look at the exterior, the styling.
I'm going to look at the functionality, the practicality, and the build quality.
You'll also be driving it.
I will.
And then we'll bring you our verdict on whether or not this is the car for you.
If you like car reviews, why not subscribe to Planet Auto?
Thank you.
Once you step into the 508, you're met with, well, it's a very luxurious and premium experience. I think the only way I can describe it is futuristically designed. You've got a big infotainment system, you've got chrome everywhere, you've got soft touch plastics, you've got the focal speaker sticking out the top of the dashboard. It's just all so well done. When it comes to functionality, this car is pretty well covered. Well, let's face it, I don't think there's anything on this car that you haven't got. You've got all-round electric windows, power folding heated door mirrors with blind spot detection that self-dip. You've also got a self-dipping interior mirror as well. You've got automatic headlamps with high beam assist and cornering that's helped with an additional light. You've also got rain sensing wipers and a pièce de résistance, the iCockpit system by Peugeot, which is absolutely immense. You've got your dials up here, but they will transform into a complete map or night vision. The thing about this system is, and it really staggered Michael and myself, is that before you've seen a pedestrian walking down the pavement 200, 300 yards away, this car has already highlighted it in its sight. The car also has media controls on the steering wheel and cruise control. Now, what do I mean by cruise control? Well, I think it's the most advanced adaptive cruise control I've ever seen. It will follow the car in front, it will brake, it will pull away, and it will actually steer down the road. It does get a little upset if you keep your hands off the wheel for more than, say, 2 seconds, but you expect that. When it comes to the infotainment system, it's 10-inch, it's touchscreen, it's got DAB radio, satellite navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and Bluetooth. Also incorporated in the infotainment system is the dual zone climate control. Below that you've got a start stop button and then the drive mode switch as well. That's where you select normal, sport, comfort, etc. You've also got your automatic gear shifter. Parking brake, hill start assist. It's also got start stop technology too. There's also lane keep assist. You can open your tailgate from here, and don't forget the electric sunroof, where the buttons are housed just on the roof here. You'll notice this car has a floating dash. There's a bit of storage here, but this is a wireless charging plate. You've also got USBs housed there too, and there's a 12-volt socket in the storage area next to the gearbox too. And as we mentioned before, this car can park itself too. When it comes to practicality, I'm 6'3", I've got ample headroom and I've got ample legroom. I've also got lots of adjustment in my seat. It is all electric, including lumbar. It also has massage too. There's lots of different settings which will operate through the infotainment system. You've also got adjustment in the steering wheel with reach and height. When it comes to storage, you've got a decent sized door bin where you could fit a bottle of water, 2 cup holders in the middle, you've got a storage point in front of that. You've also got a door which opens with a little button here, where you could fit a bottle of water or a big packet of crisps. The glove box isn't the largest in the world, but always remember that you do have this central storage area. Overall, I could say I'm pretty speechless at the interior in this car. Flat bottomed mini steering wheel, fully leather wrapped, chromes, materials that, well, they're just premium. It gives you a very luxurious feel. And a premium sound system by Focal that rivals that of premium German cars. It's absolutely amazing in here. Flush switch gear, iCockpit. I don't think there's anything in this car that you don't have. Stepping into the rear of the 508 is easy. Don't get me wrong, Grandma will not be jumping in, but as far as it goes, considering its ride height, it's relatively easy. Once back here, as you all know by now, I'm 6'3" and I've actually got some headroom. Now, a lot of the reviews say that it is very lacking in here, but if you set the front seat up to someone that's say 6 foot, 6'1", then I can fit here quite amply, which I was quite surprised at considering this sloping roofline. Now, you will get 3 children in here, you'll get 2 adults. The finish in here is exquisite. You've got stitching, you've got carbon fibre style trims, you've got an electric window, and you've got a very comfortable leather padded armrest too. And don't forget these focal speakers. The sound system is immense in this car. You've also got reading light up here, a hook. There are no handles. They would have been quite nice in something with this much power. But you have got illuminated USBs and air conditioning in the centre too. And don't forget, you've got map nets on the back of the seat. You've got a decent sized door pocket where you can fit a bottle of water. It wouldn't be a cruiser, would it really, without a pull down armrest with cup holders integrated. Overall, it's very comfortable in here. I do love the styling on the leather seats too. They're very plush. It feels very luxury and very executive in here. When it comes to the boot of the car, you can open the boot with the key fob, the button on the dashboard, or the good old-fashioned way, the button under here. Once open, you've got a decent sized boot space. It's 487 litres, and you can drop these seats and it will increase to 1,537, which is, well, it's quite a formidable space for a car this size. You've also got a subwoofer here. Under the floor you've got an inflation kit with extra storage, 12-volt socket there, and, yes, don't forget, a ski hatch in case you don't want the seats down, and you've got tethering hooks too.
The first thing you'll notice is the body's overall curvature. It even encapsulates the daytime running lights. This car really does stand out from the crowd. Peugeot are so proud of the 508, they've even put the badge on the front, and so they should be. As you would expect on a car like this, you have automatic LED headlamps with self-dip. You also have an additional light that turns on when cornering. You have night vision, a front-facing camera that makes a 360-degree camera, front parking sensors and automatic wipers, as well as your autonomous driving aids that are housed down there and up on the windscreen. Coming to the side of the car, the first thing you'll notice is these 19-inch wheels with a 235/40 profile. They really do suit this car. You can choose from other ones. You have power folding electric heated door mirrors with blind spot detection and self-dipping, keyless entry, and the tinted panoramic sunroof that's enhanced with this black strip that just gives the car a really sporty look, rear privacy glass, and the GT line badge at the back. The overall curvature, the body lines on this car, it really is done right. It's such an impressive looking car. It has great road presence. The boot spoiler has seamlessly been integrated into the boot lid. There's also a rear diffuser, parking sensors, the twin exhausts, and the reversing camera that makes up the 360-degree camera.
What's a Peugeot 508 GT like to drive? Well, believe it or not, it's actually 225 PS, and that's with a 1.6 turbocharged petrol engine. It's also coupled to an 8-speed automatic gearbox, and it's got dynamic chassis control too.
It's remarkable, really, how much performance you get out of a car that has a 1.6.
Yeah, engines have come a very long way since I started in a 1.6 injection gear, which was developing something like, I think it was 118 brake horse.
I think that the 8-speed auto is also one of the best gearboxes Peugeot have ever made.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, it's seamless.
Exactly, it's seamless and it cycles through the gears so quickly.
However, if you're in sport mode, it will hold the gear till as long as you want it, won't it?
I think that that gearbox is very dynamic. It's very versatile in the way that it can effortlessly cycle through gears in comfort mode. You don't even notice it change gear.
No, you don't.
Yet in sport mode, it holds the gears. You have the right gear at the right time.
Very adaptable.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
In fact, I can't actually find many things I don't mean
Well, you have one big problem with this car, and that's the fact you have to give it back.
Yes, and also, you know, sometimes you have to lean forward and adjust your massaging seat, or
Yes.
you know, there's nothing.
Well, we
I
can
can
demonstrate that, can't we?
Yeah.
If you lean forward and I kick down, then
Yeah,
you're not going to be leaning back, are you?
It pulls you back in your seat.
Yeah, leaning forward even.
Well, yeah, definitely. It's very comfortable.
Yes.
The ride is impeccable.
Yeah, it's the suspension, the way it handles is, it's like it's on rails in sport mode. In comfort, you don't feel really anything. As you can see, there's hardly any road noise, if any, and that's because we're on completely, well, weathered Lake District roads.
Well, I find even when the car's in its sportiest setting, the ride isn't unbearable.
Oh,
It's
not
still
at all.
comfortable. You do notice the bumps in the road.
But that's what you want, isn't it? You want to, if you turn this into a dynamic sporty car, then
Yeah.
you want to feel every bit so you can enhance the driving experience.
I think it also handles very well, considering you've got 225 brake horsepower going through the front wheels.
And it's not a small car.
Oh, definitely not. You can fit 3 people back there and luggage.
Yeah,
You know,
in comfort.
it's a very good family cruiser.
Yes. But you can flick that switch and it'll bring back the heritage of the 205 GTI. You can throw it into a corner and it'll just grip, and then you can accelerate hard out the other side. And the gearbox will allow you to do it. It's, well, yeah, it's Peugeot got this car very, very right.
Yes, that's it. Like, at this point you would usually talk about things like body roll and, you know, things that you don't like about the car, and I don't think there is anything.
No, I can't find anything at all.
Even when it comes to economy, we've been getting about 40 to a gallon.
Yeah, which I think is very, very acceptable considering we've hardly been driving it in comfort or eco mode.
Well, yeah, exactly. Even when you're doing spirited driving, you get about 32.
Yeah.
What I think for a performance car is, you know, that's perfectly
On a
respectable.
car with a Golf Mark II ABF.
You can
Perfectly acceptable.
You can also get diesel engines if, you know, economy is more what you're after than
Yeah.
performance.
So as we mentioned, you've got a drive mode here, which tightens up acceleration, lengthens gears, all that kind of thing. You can have normal, eco, sport,
Comfort, manual,
manual. Yeah, it's got
the paddle shifts. And they do actually, you know, do something in this car. You know, when you press them, you do get an instant gear change.
Yes, you do. It's remarkable how well. I like you, I get speechless with this car because I can't quite work out what I want to say about it, because it's almost like instant everything, isn't it?
I think it's in a very competitive market because
Yes.
you've got the Skoda Superb, the Kia Stinger, and it is a contender.
It certainly is.
They have got it spot on.
I think one of the strengths of this car is when you're through the gears as well, because it just accelerates like a rocket. You know, initially pulling off from a traffic light race, it's not as quick as maybe some of the other contenders.
No.
But when you get up to say 20, 30, it'll just pin you into your seat.
I think that's because it keeps its traction very well at low speeds, because it is front wheel drive. There
Yeah.
is a lot of power going through the front wheels, and you know, a slight compromise of that is
Yes,
that
to
at
make
lower
sure you don't spin.
Exactly. But once it gets going, it's unbelievable how fast it is. Even when it comes to equipment and everything inside the cabin.
Yes.
You've got massaging seats, the virtual cockpit, you've got Apple CarPlay,
Night vision?
night vision, adaptive cruise control with the adaptive steering system as well.
Which means the car virtually drives itself, including steering, pulling away, stopping in traffic, then pulling away again.
And it can also park itself.
Yes, it's rather clever.
All around visibility is very good. I would say that the view out the rear view mirror is slightly compromised because of the low roof line.
Well, it's coupe looks, isn't it? That's the kind of thing you expect.
Saying that, on this model you get the 360-degree camera, parking sensors, and it will park itself as well.
Yes, exactly. Yes, it's a very adaptable car in any place. Plus, I don't think the turning circle's bad on this either, considering what it is.
Well, that's it. The steering's very light and it's very easy to manoeuvre as well.
Oh my word.
Like even in these very windy, twisty Lakeland villages and towns.
Well, exactly. We're in Ambleside and it's just happily running along.
running along.
I think what I love most about this is you can, you know, 1 minute it is a very comfortable, very dignified cruiser,
Yes.
and it looks incredible.
It does.
But then when you put it into sport mode, it can
Transforms it.
It can take on hot hatches. You know, it can take on, you know, very fast cars.
Yes, it is.
And it handles well as well. I love
Well,
it.
the brakes are absolutely staggering as well. It's just very well set up. And you've got your fuel computer, which is operated by the button on the end of the stalk, and that'll give you things like economy. But most of the interesting things is in the iCockpit, isn't it?
Yeah, you can get your sat nav, night vision. You can
Yes.
just have your normal dials.
You've also got your rain sensing wipers, automatic headlamps. Yeah, it's very well kitted out.
I don't think
I like the
there's
infotainment.
well. I'm just thinking. I don't think there's anything this car is actually lacking.
No.
The sound system's amazing.
Yeah, well, the vocal system is absolutely... I've not heard bass like this. I mean, the last time I heard bass like this was the Q5 with the premium sound system.
Yeah.
Which is saying something, because, I mean, an option of that is usually a couple of grand at least.
Well, I think, considering this car has got everything on it and it's under £40,000, the performance you get and the level of refinement.
Yeah. Oh, no, it justifies its price very well.
This carbon fibre style trim, the stitching, the speaker
Chromes,
grills.
the switch gear.
Yeah.
It's all very supercar. But that's because it can pull away like that, and that's not even in sport. That's comfort mode.
I want one. I really want one. I think that is the biggest problem with it. We've got to give it back.
Yes, I know. It's one of those that we're going to miss. 6 month loan would be fine. Hi, Dad.
So what's our verdict of the 508 GT?
It's got staggering looks. It's got performance that, well, I mean, it tops out 155 miles an hour.
It rivals most things on the road, really.
It really does, and it has a road presence like no other car.
It's very practical and it's tech loaded.
It is. It's got practically everything you could ever want in a car.
In fact, I think the biggest problem is with it, we have to give it back.
I know. I do love the massaging seats.
You're also Euro NCAP 5.
You are?
This model is just under £40,000, but you get everything.
You do, and the range starts at just over 25,000, so that's a very reasonable price for a very pretty car.
If you're in the market for a sporty executive
Car that you can make your own with a diesel, an auto, one manual, and this PureTech petrol,
which is a staggering performance,
225 PS to be exact,
then it's definitely worth taking a look at the Peugeot 508.
it certainly is. And as we stressed in the driving, you really need to drive it to experience it. You do, don't you?
Definitely.
For more car reviews, or if you have any questions about the 508, please leave them below and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.